Good. Well done. Brilliant class. Now, let's see if I can go through this. I'm going to use a different colour. Now, here are the basics, and it's in a bit of a mess, so I'll try to put a little star each time I've explained something to you. Here's a basic sentence with present habit. This is how we generally use present habit. My sister always rides her bike to work. Present simple, using an adverb, standard factual habit. However, we've got other ways we can express present habit. So here's one here. She is always borrowing my clothes. Suddenly we've broken the standard rule. We're using present continuous with an adverb. It makes no sense. But we do this to show that we're really annoyed at her behaviour. So we've changed the tense to show how annoyed we are. So there's one way of expressing present habit. Now another one, this is quite a neutral one and is also quite factual. We're using the future simple. She will go out every Friday night. It shows present habit, it shows characteristic behaviour. It's also very factual, but you might hear that English being used in that way. Okay, I think that's present habit done. Let's move on to past habit. The standard past habit is this one here, past simple. My sister worked at weekends when she was a teenager. This was a habit, she did it every weekend. It's a very factual sentence. Another way, which is a little bit more advanced, of expressing past habit is to use used to. It's also very factual, past habit. She used to work at weekends, past habit, factual. However, there are other ways of expressing habit in the past. Here's one. Here, we're using the word would in a strange way. We would meet some good friends every weekend, and I remember this time really sentimentally. I feel very nostalgic about it. Now, nostalgia can make you feel happy, can make you feel sad, but so it's just a different way of using this modal auxiliary verb, so bear that in mind. Nostalgia, I remember my dog, I'd walk him every weekend, I'd walk him every night after work, something like that. I would, and what you would do in the past. Usually the person or the people have died and you're remembering them fondly. You can also use past habit to show that you were annoyed. So here's the present habit, she's always borrowing my clothes and I am annoyed. She was always borrowing my clothes and I was annoyed. However, because we show one extreme, we can show the other extreme, as we got right at the very end. My grandmother was so sweet, she was always buying me gifts. Past habit, this is using a continuous form, with always or never, those extremes. And here, we're really happy, we're praising her, we're thankful, we're feeling nostalgic. So, that's that one done as well. I've done that one as well. So, present and past habit, we've suddenly learned a lot of new ways of expressing present and past habit. And finally, an introduction to something we're going to look at in a bit more detail next week are these two sentences. I've lived next to the airport for years, so I am used to the noise. So we were looking at this used to for different reasons, and here I am used to the noise means I'm familiar with it. It doesn't bother, the noise doesn't bother me anymore because I am used to it now. And the other one, which we're going to look at in more detail next week, I'm getting used to travelling on the tube. It's not familiar, it's still a bit strange, but slowly it's becoming familiar. So these two we're going to do a little bit more work with next week before we move on to our new topic. Thank you.